This is the old system that we used to use for photo finish operations out at Ferguson Park Racetrack. Today it's all digital. We've laid it out here in the rough order that we would use in the dark room, and I'll just talk you through it. The camera was set up, there was a hole in the wall, and it used to overlook the racetrack. On the far side of the racetrack was a mirror, and we used to get the mirror image plus the image of the horses on the track itself, and they would come back into the camera. The finish line was represented by this plate with a line cut down it, and it was mounted in a position at the back of the lens. The image would come through and we would mount our negative around the bowl, clamp it in position, twist the bowl around, and that became the starting point. The lid would close and it would remain closed. All this was being done in the dark. So you had to become familiar with your movements and where everything had to be placed. When the horses reached a certain point on the racetrack, we would flick the on-off switch, and on the inside, the bowl would start to move around at a set speed and would go around until it hit the stops. We would then switch it off, again all in the dark. Once we had all that, we could then take the film out, take a step to the right, hold it in position, and it had to slide into the developer, and for about 7 seconds developing, out of that into the stop bath, which would stop the action of the developer for 5 seconds, then into the fixer for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, no more. Once that was completed, you'd take a step to the right, and then you would switch on a red light, and everything else was then done under the red light. The negative would be mounted in the neg holder. Put into the enlarger. The foot switch used to switch the enlarger on. You'd line up the image that you wanted. Using this one as an example, the finish line is actually a guitar string. And when the paper was put in underneath it, that guitar string used to create the finish line on the image of the horses. Once the negative was lined up and the paper was in the enlarging easel, you then put on a positioning marker, in this case, first place, which is demonstrated by this one in here.
50 stars over the top, 50 stars from the Australian Cup.
You would then enlarge the print, take it out, and go through the developer into the stop bath and into the fixer. Once the image was completed, it could then be sent downstairs for the judge's consideration. The technology today is totally different to this old system, but that was a leading edge technology of its time, and it certainly saved a lot of hassles when it comes to the judges having to make a decision on who won and who didn't.
The photo finish tells the story, and here's the actual picture showing Rimfire's hair's breadth victory.